So I think we are live now.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll start then. So hey guys, hope you're enjoying your weekends. And today we'll be, kind of doing something different from past weeks. We'll be doing something of like kind of discussion on, you know, many people, kind of have this mentality of motivating themselves with money. And today we will see like, is it true that the money is a motivating factor for you guys, or we'll do some discussion kind of thing, and we will kind of let you conclude which is the right way to choose. And so let me introduce myself briefly. So I am Santosh. And I am, the CEO and founder of weinkwriters, a professional blog, which have 20 plus content writers writing on various topics from technology to life hacks and to psychology as well. So I do also freelancing in Python and machine learning based projects, and I have been participating in hackathons. And to name a few, I have been to Microsoft Office Bangalore and Airbus India Bangalore. So, and I love tech and loves to kind of work with technology which can leverage people and leverage people's life. So I just want to work on that. And so up to
Okay.
you. You can introduce yourself.
Yeah. Hi, myself is Varsha. Actually, I'm an associate system engineer at IBM. I've interned in a company called XCD. And right now, actually, I've got an award called Balashri Award. It's one of the prestigious award are given to anybody below 18 years old. So I've been awarded that from the President of India. So right now, I'm working on middleware. And so that's about me. Yeah.
Okay, fine. We'll start the session then. So first,
Okay.
a quick disclaimer. So we don't want to direct people to follow us on kind of any discussion that we have, and you can follow it in your own risk. So we don't want to have kind of any legal problem with that. So we'll quick disclaimer, and let's get started. So when you say like the is money motivating factor for you, it's a straight no. And but it is pretty debatable to some extent, since in this world we don't know what money can get you. Like there are a number of things that money can get, but we will kind of sort it out in the debates part. I'll briefly tell the pros of it, and Varsha will be getting the cons of is money not motivating you, and some extent. Okay, so let's get started. So we'll talk about the pros, and but still I don't believe in kind of money motivates you. But for this session, I just want to talk on the pros of it. So I just kind of did some groundwork on what kind of pros that money can give you. It was pretty hard to find first, and it was really
Yeah,
amazing with.
basically, yeah, he in turn even asked me whether you would like to speak pros or cons, and it was like, okay, pros you can take up with pros, but then I came up with, no, I don't believe that, I can't do that. But then he says, okay, let's come to a conclusion. Let's have it more like a discussion than a debate, so that we would come up into a balanced discussion at the end of the day. Yeah,
Yeah, sure. That will be the the goal for the day. And
yeah,
I think money doesn't add value to you unless and until you work for it, right? So some people kind of work for some particular time and then just go away, and they just take the money and just go away, and there's no point in adding value to the society. So there are tons and tons of example of people doing that, and I don't want to mention those, but still there are people that just plunge the money out of people and then just go away and enjoy their life, and that is no point in doing that. And certain companies do follow this money is a motivating factor kind of, and this kind of exists in startups, since kind of startups doesn't get enough funding, and people doesn't want to join startups since they kind of give you less stipend, or salary is low, and you don't want to get in those kind of situations where if your family background is good and you don't have any kind of difficulty in joining a startup and doing the job that you love. But many people are kind of from poor background, and they just don't want to get into a startup, and just they want kind of they want to survive in the society, right? So their family situation may put them in some kind of position where they have to strive for earning more money, and that is for those kind of people where that kind of financial situation pushes them. And that kind of act, where that's the place, and those are the people to whom you can reach out to money. But for others, like they have some dreams, or they have some fixed aims, and they just want to go with goals, and they don't want to go with money. For them, you don't kind of put money, and you won't be getting anything back. And that is the way that people, you can create some conflicts. Say, let's say if there are 10 people in a startup, and you just if two people are given the hike, and other rest eight are they don't they are not given the hike, and there will be definitely a conflict on the amount of work I put was more, but I didn't get the kind of report that I wanted. And there can be conflicts, since you are giving money to uh, praise them for their work, and you can always choose a different venture for promoting them, or kind of motivating them. And after kind of doing those, and rewarding all workers is kind of thing that you should do in a startup thing. So it's kind of that. But there are people where you should reach out with uh, dreams, and set goals, and work according to your needs. So that is the place where you have to kind of pull some strings here and there, and to get them going. And money talks, and it talks loud and clearly. In some point in time, money is kind of thing that we need to kind of even do a startup, or kind of do a business. You just need money to get you started. So that is the initial factor, but the end product is kind of thing that you do to the society. That is the kind of thing that you are doing to the society. And most of the people believe in what they do, and for those kind of people, money doesn't work. And for people, as I said earlier, they are just in a financial crisis, and just they want to kind of. But in a long run, I don't think definitely this money thing will get you somewhere. And if you think that money is the right factor, and your game is over, and you cannot push further, and you will reach a saturation point where the money doesn't motivate you any further. And the hype and optimism that you bring in will last for long. And you can reward your employee with extra amount of perks, or you can hike them several times or greater than what the regular employee gets. And you will be definitely getting motivated. But for a long run, that won't work. For a short burst, or you can for a short term, that might work. But for a long run, it's pretty difficult and pretty hard for you guys to get it going. And I think chasing the things that you like is most predominant, or it will give you happiness. And more often, money doesn't kind of motivate you till to some extent. So I think it's up to Varsha now to kind of give her discussion part.
Okay, coming on to my opinion, before I put forth my opinion, I would like to tell something. Okay, there are two situations I would like to put forth in front of you people and would ask you what would you pick up. Okay, that's both of them are worst case scenario. The first one is that somebody, I mean, you have a zero balance and you don't have a backup. Okay, and then you have a really good job which you are absolutely passionate about, but you don't have a backup. You can't even serve your basic needs. That is one worst case, and the other one is you're being paid billions, but the thing is you absolutely don't like your job. What is something you would like to choose? So is the thing I would like to ask anybody down here. So if you want, you can comment down or writing. Let me put this question to Santosh. You just have to choose one or the other situation, nothing more than that. Yeah.
Okay.
What is your opinion about? Let's talk it in a
I,
practical end. Yeah.
even in practicality, millions of money doesn't matter, right? So you can see from previous examples, a coffee
Okay,
day
then
owner
you
have,
can't even serve your basic needs.
see,
I mean, not
basic
even
needs.
a food. I mean, just in a situation, you pick up one. I don't have any comments, no explanations. You just have to pick up one situation which you think will work for you.
I think
At
I'll
the
go with the money part.
okay, yeah, this is what is the whole factor. So if because Santosh is absolutely a passionate person, if today he is trying to pick up the money factor, does this actually revert back that money is the motivation? That's what I started wondering because I had read this in some article and I started wondering this. But later, the factor here that actually matters is he's picking it up because of a situation, because he doesn't have a livelihood. So the condition here is money is being a stabilizer and not a motivation. The point reason he picked up is now he actually in the whole of his speech he came up with a point that yeah, point that yeah, I am actually passionate but I'm trying to speak for money. And then when I told also practically thinking, you pick up a point, yeah, I need money in the first place for my survival. But after you get into the survival, will that money only keep pulling you forward is the question. So as I see a lot of TLs and a lot of managers who have been working years and years and really really well paid, if you go and ask them down, okay, what is something that motivates you to do, they will not come up a better a promotion, a better salary. That's not that pulls them up. Okay, so if you're thinking in the whole perspective of just because somebody, okay, let me check all this and give you another beautiful example, I think that will be able to connect you more. You go and buy a car, and the reason you buy a car, you have a salary but you're not able to buy a car in your salary because of this credit cards, debit cards, all the game of it. What you do is you get an EMI done and you buy a car. And then what happens is you're absolutely not interested in the job, even then you end up going to the job. Okay. And then you mention, okay, so now the person is going to job just because he wants to pay his debt for, money for his car. But this doesn't make money a motivation for him. Okay, he is binding himself in terms of money. That is the reason people have a misconception of why a lot of debaters who come up with a point that money is a motivation factor, they come up because it pays your livelihood, because it is giving you all the comforts like you can buy a car. And but that is the bounding you're building for yourself, and that's the reason you come up with stuffs like okay, that is the money is the motivation. But coming on, it is one thing is you're spending on things which are actually not important and mentioning, and later you're mentioning that yeah, money is an important factor. The other thing is it is just stabilizing you, it's just making you know this is it's just fulfilling your basic criteria, and you come up with a point that money is a motivation. So this is the whole funda with why the consideration of money is a motivation factor which people come up with. And if I have to mention a lot of people who have showed money is not the only motivation factor, is I think all of you have watched Three Idiots, and I hope you all know about Fung Shuk Wangdu. Do you know what the value that man adds to India? He is actually trying to change a lot of education system in Ladakh is being changed because of him. And the thing is, and he's one of the best brains of India. He has a lot of innovations in his list. But the thing that drove him, if he actually wanted to make a lot of money, he would have went for it. Do you know the story of Jack Ma? Jack Ma worked years and years, and that too he had no profit in his pocket, and he went to people to learn English just because he went on mentoring for Englishmen, explaining that about he tried to be a tour guide. That's how the whole game of it is. So money is not the actual motivation factor. The motivation why you feel money is the motivation factor is just that because it is a way to reach, it is just a path you're choosing to reach something better. Because if you're considering an investment is required for a project, for a company to come on, you need an idea initially. And companies which have always believed that who have always came up of bringing up an idea, they've always aced the game. And people who have just brought up a startup just for the ace of being rich, not most of them have made it. Even if you ask the Warren Buffett, who is actually playing with money and making more money, do you know what his statement is? He actually mentions there's a saturation point where money actually stagnates giving you happiness. The thing that motivates me is I want to be the best. See, the another factor I would tell you is the motivation differs for every individual. For me, innovation might be a motivation. For the one, being best among others might be a motivation. For the other person, being treated well is a motivation. The whole game of motivation is actually abstract. So it's not something you could relate to money, is what all my point is. So over to Santosh again. Yeah.
So I think it's overview of money doesn't motivate you. So as you said, like it's right. When money doesn't play a vital role, but it is needed for survival, right? So you don't want to barely give away that I don't want money, I can live by myself. But in this world you need money, right? For for survival purpose, for
Yeah,
for your day to day purchasing and everything, you need money, right? So it is a factor, but it doesn't kind of, as you said, there are a lot of motivation factors for each and everyone. There can be different kinds of motivation. There can be dreams, aspirations, and there are a lot of things that can motivate a person, and money is one of the things. So we'll get into the other
yeah, yeah. The
various
thing is,
quotes given.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Sure, we could go ahead with it. Yeah.
so you were saying something. So
Yeah, I wanted to mention that it's more of a stabilizer and a less of a motivation to most of them. Yeah,
yeah,
it could
initially, like
rather be.
yeah, sure. So initially you need like stabilizer kind of a thing where you step in, have a firm grip on something so that you can go further, right? So
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
so let's see famous quote from Jack Ma.
okay.
You are
So you'd
never
like
in
to
lack
take
of
it?
money. Yeah, we will
Yeah,
just kind of have a overview of this thing.
discussion. Yeah,
So can you go ahead with this one?
yeah. The whole thing is the money thing. We're never in lack of money. We lack people with dreams who can die for those dreams. The actual criteria that today is people have been pushed into a dramatic like stagnation of you get a job, you get a salary, you get a car, you buy a house, and then you're settled. So people are not coming up with new dreams, people are not putting out their ass off to do something really interesting which would bring a change. Okay, because money has always been a constant because it flows and flows and it's always there. If you go to the economic dynamics, the money is always constant. You print and then you actually what demonetize whatever you've already printed. So money, there's no lack of it. It's already, we need passionate people. Even Jack Ma mentions because young people are those who are gonna build the future. So I think dreams is something which should be emphasized in today's world than because money is always there. You dream, you get motivated by your dreams, you can make changes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So second one, first you learn, then you remove the L. So as you kind of see that learning something useful, or utilizing your skills for doing something good for your society, or getting self satisfaction is in the long run, it helps you a lot. Before kind of earning the money, self satisfaction is, most of the people are lacking it. So that's it for the second one. And can you go ahead with this one?
Yeah, if you buy things you do not need, soon you'll have to sell things you need. That's what I was talking about the car, you know. You buy a car with an EMI and think that, okay, and you work, you want to leave the job, even then you work all your life, all those, all 1 or 2 years just to fulfill that EMI. Even though you really don't like that job and you feel that amount of time could be actually used for something better. So your amazing time is sold out for just a car you wanted to buy. So that's something you can relate to maybe.
Yeah. Okay, fine. So this is one of the Kiyosaki one. So work to
Yeah.
learn, don't work for money. Look for jobs that can help you develop the skills, systems, and people rather than just pay you well. So I think I can relate this to the previous one. So you just want to work for something good, right? So you don't want to be part of something worst. And you should always think ahead on being part of something you're building. So if you're in a startup and you just want to build the company from scratch, and that is the where kind of passion works on. If you are passionate about building something great for the society, and that is the driving factor that you will ever have.
Yeah, exactly. Because today a lot of youth are more focused on the packages they get and stuff like that, and less focused on new ideas. Because even in our education system, the lot of it is more focused on, less focused on ideas and more focused on marks. So I think learning should begin in his one of his great books, Robert Kiyosaki's The Rich Dad and Poor Dad. He
Yeah,
mentions it beautifully. Actually, I think all the viewers should sometime pick up that book and read it through, because the way you train your mind, like you don't, once you realize you're not working for money and you've started working to learn stuff, the whole game changes. I mean, the perspective changes, you open up to a lot of views and perspectives. So that's one thing. I mean, there's one of the very respectable person, like whom I really, whenever I go around, this book actually works out. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So this is another one. So can you take it up?
Yeah. Okay. So in terms of if money is the only, because there's a lot of people who want a balance in life, not just the money and like a lot of money. And if I don't have time to spend with my family, then that's not something that actually keeps me happy. There are few examples wherein people have achieved really really great, but then they could not establish a proper. Uh, if you can't establish a proper bondage, you don't have time. You have hell a lot of money. What do you do with it at the end of the day on your deathbed? You cannot take any of them. But if there's some people who are down there caring for you, that makes a lot of difference. So here also it mentions money cannot be a motivation factor. It's actually the whole idea of keeping a good balance of people, keeping a good balance of what you like, doing stuff. So that's the whole game of it. Yeah.
Okay, I think this is the last one. So a man's
Yeah.
success is measured by what his wife and children say about him. Money and accomplishments mean nothing if you let your home fail. So I think this relates to the relationship that you have. So you should have relationship with people who motivate you, who drive you, kind of when you go down. As you said, like a book motivates you. You should have some people like who keeps you up, pulls you up when you are going down in certain places where you are depressed in some way, or you're stressed out in your work, and you need some people, right? So you can't do it everything by yourself. And even in a startup ecosystem, you need your integrity is one of the key thing. You should have honest, and you should have responsible people working for you, and they want to kind of get you to the position where you have to go. And there are people where those who don't kind of have those aspirations. They just want to earn tons of money and then just go away. And that is the main motto of it. And
Yeah.
coming to the conclusion of the can you share something on the conclusion part?
Yeah, actually, the whole idea is actually, yeah, I don't completely deny we do not need money. We need money because for a family which is of a lower standards, if it comes up to a middle, I mean, mediocre level, just because of education and a job or a bit of money can help them push their economic status, yeah, that's beautiful to them. Money is something that stabilizes you. But if you keep money as your motivation, you will not go longer. It's just a push that could stabilize you, but the motivation is that which your dreams bring in, your passion bringing, or a right sum of people around you which would give you a pleasure. So that is what the whole idea of this discussion is. So money is a stabilizer and not much of a motivation. I don't deny that money is not required, as Santosh said. Money is something important too, but you should know what extent it should motivate you. Because if you're under the motivation of money and you somebody is ready to pay you to 1 lakh or 2 lakhs to just to go and kill someone, that should not be that thing working for you, because money should not be a motivation factor down there. Money is just used for stabilization. And the other thing I would like to put up is your passion should be somewhere above it, and that should be one of your motivation factor that would push you longer. Yeah. So that's about me. And thank you, all the viewers, for actually being so supportive. And yeah, thank you, Santosh, for calling me on your show actually for this talk show. I'm very pleasured and delighted.
Yeah, sure. So, like as you can see that we had a small discussion on money is a motivation factor. So you guys decide. So which one path you have to take. And for a lot of you, money may be motivation factor at the end. So sorry, for in the start of your career, like 3 to 4 years, and then there is a saturation point where money doesn't after some particular saturation point where money doesn't motivate you further, and you need some further steps. You need to pull back yourself and rethink your idea and rework on certain skill sets, and again you go back there and play the game, and that's all it works on. So I think let's conclude. So I think that was a great show. Thank you for all your support, guys. So we'll
Yeah.
have another discussion on business aspect of startup thing on next Sunday. So hope you guys will join that as well. Thank you, Bosha, for joining in and sharing your thoughts. So
Thank you,
happy
Santosh,
weekend,
as
guys.
well.
Enjoy your
Yeah.
weekend.
Happy
Bye bye.
weekend to all. Yeah. Bye.